Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well. I thought it was time for another cozy kind of book chat. It is the end of November, so it is dull, raining and just a bit grey outside here in the UK, in the northeast of England. I don't know where it is where you are. Let me know in the comments below. It might be glorious sunshine. So I thought, yeah, time for a nice little cozy book chat. I've got me cup of Beanie's cherry chocolate coffee, which is very nice. I really like Beanie's coffee, actually. This is not a plug for Beanie's coffee, but I've got a cinder toffee one, a toffee apple one, and a cherry chocolate, and it really kind of satisfies those sweet cravings, if I do have any, without any of the calories. So yeah, I really like Beanie's coffee. So I thought I would share some books that I've read. I think I've overcome my reading slump and I have read 3 books since I last did a video, so that's a good thing. And I've enjoyed them on the whole, and I'll share with you what they are. I'll share with you what I'm reading at the moment, what I'm going to be reading, a book I picked up in the library, and I also wanted to share some books that I own. They are non-fiction, that I thought might make really great gifts if you're looking for that kind of thing, for a relative, for a friend, or even for yourself. The things that I own and that I would definitely recommend. So let's get cracking with the books that I've read, 3 books that I've read. This is the one I got out of the library recently, and because I was having a bit of a reading slump and I just wasn't enjoying the books that I was reading, I don't know what that was. Maybe I just picked up the wrong books or whatever, but I thought short stories might be a good way to try and overcome that, because you don't have to put much effort into reading a short story as much as you would do, or much commitment into it. They're only very short. And this is P.D. James, The Mistletoe Murder and Other Stories. Now, I think P.D. James writes the Dalgleish murder mysteries. Am I correct in saying that? I've never read anything by her before, but I think she does read write the detective fiction where the main detective is Adam Dalgleish, because he does feature in a couple of these stories. Not only short stories, there's only 4 of them. We've got The Mistletoe Murder, A Very Commonplace Murder, The Boxdale Inheritance, and The 12 Clues of Christmas. And I really did enjoy The 12 Clues of Christmas. It had a very Agatha Christie feel about it. The actual title story, The Mistletoe Murder, I think was my least favourite, even though I still liked it. I think as I'm not a writer, but I'm imagining as a writer, it's so much harder to write short stories because you've got to get all of that plot and characters and, get them jumping off the page in maybe only 40 pages. So I think it's probably more difficult to do that. But if you're looking for just some short stories to read, you like kind of murder mystery detective things, highly recommend that. I really enjoyed it. And I probably would read some more of P.D. James's books. The next book, The Many Ghosts of Donahue Burns. Now, this one and the next one were in the video that I did where I said I'd just picked up, I think it was 6 books off the library shelves, didn't read the blurbs. I picked them up purely on the title or the cover of the book, and I read the first chapters, and from that decided which ones I wanted to read, and this was one of them. I loved this book. Loved it. I didn't want it to end. It's basically about a hotel called the Ball in a Drum Hotel, or Ball in a Drum, but it looks like Ball in a Drum. And the guy who owns it, Donahue Burns, he's about 90, I think, when he dies. And there's been rumours through the years, the hotel's been open a while, there's been rumours through the years that it's haunted and there's ghosts there. And the girl who was closest to Donahue, Maya, Donahue had said to her, I've got a special role in mind for you, but he never got round to telling her what it was before he died. And then his son, Cormac, is taking over the hotel and he's going to sell it. And I mean, as it's not giving any spoilers away by saying, yes, the hotel is haunted. Not all guests know when to check out. It's a bit of a mystery, a bit of a ghost story, a little bit of a relationship story in there, but I loved it. I really enjoyed it. It was a page turner. And I would definitely, this is her first book, Laura McLaughlin, and I would definitely read more books by her. So if you like something with ghosts in, something with a little bit of mystery, then this might be for you. It wasn't particularly scary, but yeah, I did really enjoy it. I would probably give that, I very rarely give anything a 5 stars, reluctantly, but I may give that a 5 star. Would definitely be 4.5 stars, maybe a 5 star. The next book I read, The Lost Story by Meg Schaefer, is also one of those books that was on that video where I chose them from the library and read the first chapter. Now, this book, it's a story that is about Rafe and Jeremy. They go missing in the Red Crow Forest, which is somewhere in America, when they're 15, and they're missing for 6 months, presumed dead, and then they walk out of the woods. Jeremy remembers everything that happened while they were gone for that 6 months. Rafe doesn't remember anything, and they kind of don't see each other again for 15 years. So the story picks up 15 years later, where this girl Emily turns up, and Jeremy is now he's a hunter he's an investigator, and he finds missing girls, missing women, only girls and women. And Emily asks him if he'll find her sister, who went missing 20 years ago, in the same place that Jeremy and Rafe went missing. At first he says no, but then he does, and he has to get Rafe to help him because he can't do it without him, and Rafe hasn't spoken to him for 15 years, doesn't remember anything about what happened about the time they were away. And it's not given any spoilers away to say that the 6 months that they were missing were spent in a magical world. It's a little bit like The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. It's an odd book because it has a lot of adult themes in. It's got domestic violence in there. It has got kind of same-sex relationships. It's got a lot of adult themes. But the parts that are in that kind of tell you about the magical world, I felt were a bit on the childish side. It was too much like The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, the kind of magical world, maybe even more childish than that. You know, unicorns and I don't know, it was magical rainbows, and it gave us a hint of Lord of the Rings in some places. Yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed it. It was a page turner for me because I wanted to know what happened. I thought there was going to be some sort of twist at the end, but there wasn't. I don't know whether she's left it open to write a follow-up to this one, because you feel like Rafe and Jeremy's stories weren't quite finished, and Emily's probably wasn't finished. So yeah, I enjoyed the parts more where they weren't in the magical world. I found the storyline quite interesting and quite compelling, whereas the bits in the magical world, a little bit on the childish side for me. I would give that a 3 star, maybe a 3.5. But yeah, if you've read it, let me know what you think. So on to what books I'm about to read, or what I'm reading. I'm about to read The Afternoon Tea Club by Jane Gilly. This is our book club book choice for November, and I haven't started it yet. And we are going to be reviewing this live next Wednesday on this channel. So if you've read this or you're reading it and you'd like to join me live and on camera for a chat, then you're very welcome to. Let me know in the comments below and I can send you the link. Or if you just want to join me in the chat room and not be on camera, that's great as well. It's usually at it is going to be at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Wednesday, I think it's the 3rd of December, but I'll need to check that. But I will be putting that in the community posts below so you can find out. So yes, I am going to be reading The Afternoon Tea Club by Jane Gilly, which says Marjorie, Stacey, Raymond and Dora each hold a different story to their chest, but loves, abandoned dreams and simply feeling invisible. For each of them, the thought of letting those stories out is almost as terrifying as letting people in, and that makes for a very lonely life indeed. But when these four strangers end up on the same table for an event at their local community centre, little do they know that their lives are about to be entwined and changed forever because of an afternoon tea club. They say a good cup of tea can warm your heart, but could it be the first step in changing a life? I think that's going to be a nice cosy read, and I need to get cracking with it. The other book I'm reading, I've already started at the moment, and this is a non-fiction book, and it's called The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, and it says a course in discovering and recovering your creative self, whether that's if you're a writer, a painter, a crafter, a YouTuber, I guess anything creative that you do. It supposedly helps you rediscover your creative self if you've got kind of a block somewhere. I just thought it was going to be an interesting book to read. I've already started it. It's basically a 12-week course, so it gives you a different kind of exercise and chapter to read each week for the 12 weeks. And I'm just on week 1, where she has told me to write 3 morning pages every day, where you sit down and you write 3 pages in a notebook. You can write anything you want. It could be anything into your mind. Don't think about it. It's a little bit like a brain dump, which isn't as easy as you might think it is. But I think that's supposed to kind of get all of the stuff that's floating around in your head onto paper, maybe all the stresses that you've got, mundane things you're thinking about, so you've left room in your head to think about creative stuff, or you may even find yourself writing creative stuff down in your morning pages. I think that's the idea. I think I've done 3 mornings so far. She did start talking about God being the creator in the beginning, and that's where you get your creativity from. I'm not a religious person at all. I would say I was agnostic. I don't believe, I don't disbelieve, but I'm not a religious person, so that kind of put us off a little bit. I thought, I hope this is not going to be, religion all the way through it. But she actually says, if you don't believe in God, that's fine. Just think about it as a creative thing, creative element in the universe. So yeah, I will persevere with this. But I'm finding the brain dump bit, the morning pages, quite useful. I haven't felt any stress in the last 3 days, so maybe that's been a help. If anybody else has done this, let me know what you thought. I got another book out of the library. Again, another short story one, and this is called Murder in Wintertime. Classic crime stories by Catherine Aird, Arthur Conan Doyle, Edmund Crispin, Colin Dexter, Peter Lovesey, and many more. So yeah, it's a so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 stories in here, and one is the P.D. James, A Very Commonplace Murder. So I've already read that one, so I've got a head start on the book. There's also one called The Christmas Train by Will Scott. Now, I know one of the options for December's book club is The Christmas Train. So I don't know whether that is a book that was written from this short story. So that would be interesting. But yeah, I'm enjoying short stories, so I'm going to be looking forward to reading this one. It says, cozy up with these chilling tales of criminality and chaos from some of the greatest writers in the genre, where danger lurks in the shadows and a moment under the mistletoe may just turn out to be the kiss of death. What better to read during the Christmas month than some murders? The other thing I'm going to be reading soon is, me and my son Simon did a video not long ago. We both read the Bram Stoker's Dracula, we both watched the film, and then we had a chat on camera about what we thought. We compared the book to the film, and we quite enjoyed doing that. So we decided this time to do a video where I read one of Simon's favourite books and he reads one of mine. So he gave me Stephen King's Salem's Lot. Now, I saw this series, the one with David Soul, I think it was probably back in the maybe 70s. And I remember being really scared when I watched that. I love vampires, love anything vampires, but that did scare us. I was quite young at the time. So I'm looking forward to reading that. I've read a couple of Stephen King's books. I've read Gerald's Game, which I really enjoyed. And there was another one that I can't remember the name of. But yeah, I did enjoy them. So hopefully I will enjoy this as well. It's quite a thick book. So I'm not sure when we're going to be talking about it on camera on the channel. But I'll let you know, obviously. I'm going to give him the options of 3 books that I've enjoyed. One of them is called Labyrinth by Kate Moss. One of them is The Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown. And the other one is Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine, which I don't know if he'll choose that one, but it'll be interesting to see which one he reads. But they are 3 favourite books of mine. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting cracking with that. So the other thing that I wanted to do was just show you 4 books that I own. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, definitely. Just because I think I've really enjoyed them. And I think they would make really great gifts, so I thought I'd share them with you. I will leave the links to them in the description box below and in the pinned comment at the top, if I remember, because I'm not so good at remembering to do that, because you can't put it in the pinned comments until you've uploaded the video and it's gone live, and then sometimes I just forget about it, but if I remember, I will. So the first one is How to Find Joy in 5 Minutes a Day by Joanna Mallon. And my daughter Nicola bought me this a few years ago, and it says inspiring ideas to boost your mood every day. And I just think it's a lovely little book. And I've just marked out 4 just to give you an idea of what it tells you to do. So do a joy audit. So write a list of 5 things, sorry, itchy nose. Write a list of 5 things that bring you joy in life. Then think about when you last did each of those things. If it wasn't recently, then this is a sign that you need to prioritise your own needs more. Make a plan to do at least one thing from your list within the next week and put it in your diary as a reminder. I think that's a very good idea. Sometimes it's difficult to remember the things that bring with joy, especially if we're having a stressful time. And Christmas can be stressful. The other one was Consider the Clouds, which I think is a really nice idea. We miss so much of the world by not looking up, particularly the ephemeral wonder of clouds. Allow your mind to wander as you look up and notice the shapes carved out by the contrast of white and blue. What's going on up there? What are the stories in the shapes? I love to do that. We used to do that with the kids when they were little. You'd look in the clouds and you'd see if you could see shapes, but making up little, stories about them is a really good idea. It's also got little quotes in this book as well. So there's one there by Kamala Harris. You are powerful and your voice matters. So yeah, look up at the clouds. I think that's a good idea. And then the other one is Dance in the Ad Breaks. So quite self-explanatory if you're watching YouTube or you're watching TV that have got ads. Ads are boring and you just sit and kind of pick your phone up. Don't pick your phone up. Get up and just boogie around. It does cheer you up. I sometimes do it when I'm washing the dishes. So yeah, and the last one I saw was Choose a Soundtrack for Your Life. I think that's a great idea. So if you've just got 5 minutes, just think about different aspects of your life, maybe a wedding, maybe a childhood memory, and write down a song you think would match it. I think that's a great idea. So yeah, that's just a lovely little book and makes a great little gift. The next book was The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse, which was really popular a few years ago by Charlie Mackesy. I bought this for myself a few years ago and I just really love it. You can read it as a book or you can dip in and out because there's a lot of, that's the kind of, writing on the page with the picture. So, it starts where the boy is kind of going on a journey with, and then he meets a mole and a fox and a horse and they go on this journey. And it's just pages like that that's in the book with little pencil drawings. Some of them are colouring, and it's got a little quote so that, you know, that one says, "I'm so small," said the mole. "Yes," said the boy, "but you make a huge difference." So you could read it as a book, or you can just dip in and out of it. So, I mean, that is a beautiful little picture. Even just, you know, for to look at the pictures in this book is quite nice. Most of the old moles I know wish they had listened less to their fears and more to their dreams. So you can get some kind of little motivational inspiration as you just dip in and out of the book. I also like that. That would make a lovely framed picture, that one. "Being kind to yourself is one of the greatest kindnesses," said the mole. I mean, wise words. It reminds us a bit of those Winnie the Pooh books that are written a little bit like this. Again, another beautiful picture with the horse. "Is your glass half empty or half full?" asked the mole. "I think I'm grateful to have a glass," said the boy. I think that's quite profound. But it's just a really nice book. I think they've got some, they brought out some sequels to this. I think there's the one called The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, the Horse and the Storm or something, which also looks really nice. So if you're looking for just a nice gift for somebody, I think that one could fit the bill. The other one is not just a book. This is a tarot card set, but it is a tarot card set with a little bit of a difference. This is Mystical Cats Tarot. Now you might say, not into tarot? You don't have to be into tarot to have a tarot deck. If you do anything like creative writing, or you paint, or you do journaling, sort of art journaling, anything like that, using a deck of tarot cards and seeing what that tarot card means can actually give you inspiration or a prompt for a story you might want to write or a painting you want to do. I think they're really good for that sort of thing. So this is the Mystical Cats Tarot by Linnea Weatherstone, art by Mickey Muller, and it comes with the book that tells you all about the different cards and their meanings, and it does give you a few spreads at the end if you do want to dabble in tarot. And then it has the deck of cards. Now these cards are slightly different to normal tarot cards. They've got cats on them for a start. I'm a bit of a crazy cat lady. If you've watched my other channel, Geordie Grandma, you may have seen some of these things already, because I have talked about them in the past, but I just thought I would share them on this channel before. So they've got pretty, that is the face of the card. And with the ordinary tarot decks, you've got 4 suits, and they are wands, cups, swords and pentacles. The Cats Tarot is slightly different. They're all kind of elemental. They are earth, sea, fire and sky. So you can see the pictures on here are absolutely beautiful. I'm just going to pick a few out for you. I mean, they are just, the pictures themselves are really, really pretty. There's a grey cat looking into the sky. That's such a cute one. Nice grey cat there. A little tabby cat in the snow. And they tell you on the bottom of the card which one is. That's the Sky King. They're so pretty. I mean, look at that one. The artwork in these cards is beautiful. And like I said, the book tells you all about each card, you know, the minor arcana, the major arcana, and gives you a few little spreads in the back, the 9 live spreads, if you did want to dabble in tarot. But like I said, you know, just picking a card out and looking at the meaning of it can actually give you an idea for a painting or a story or some kind of creative pursuit that you're doing. But I really like these Mystical Cats Tarot cards, and I think they would make a lovely gift for anyone who's into that kind of thing. And the last thing that I wanted to talk about is a bit of a plug for my own book, not a fiction book. It is a self-care word search book. That grey bar across the mirror is just because that was my proof copy and it's not for resale. I did this maybe 2 years ago now, and it is for sale on Amazon. it was just something that I wanted to do. I find self-care, you know, really necessary most of the time. So all of the word searches are to do with a different aspect of self-care. So I've got there healthy snacks, embroidery, because hobbies are always a good thing. Write a letter, hydration habits, and you've got the words down there, and it's quite a big grid, and it's fairly easy to see if you have problems with that. So there is, I think there's 100 word searches in there. If you go and look at the Amazon list, it will tell you on there, I can't remember. Yeah, it is 100 word searches. I've just looked at the pages. It's got the solutions in the back of the book if you want to look. They're not hugely difficult. And it's also got some blank pages in the back of the book. So if you get some ideas for different things you want to put on your own self-care lists, it's a good idea. So, you know, laughter as therapy. You might pick out some of the words, you know, comedy. I need to watch some comedy films. Or we've got dance therapy there, move your body, listen to the radio, listen to some soul music. It might give you some ideas and you could just jot them down on the blank pages at the end. But like I said, I will link to all these in the description box below and in the pinned comments at the top. So that's all I've got for you today. Let me know in the comments below what you're reading at the moment, or if you've read any of the books that I've just talked about. Or if you own any of those 4 that I've just suggested as free gifts. I know a few of my subscribers on the Geordie Grandma channel did buy the self-care word search book, so thank you so much for that. So that's all I've got for you today. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.